Hey everyone, first of all let me thank you for choosing FoliageLab Cutter. During this video I will show you how to use the LOD mode of the tool, and in a second video I will show you everything you have to know about the high poly mode, which is a complete different workflow. But before to start, let's install the tool together. If you are used to work with Blender, it's really easy for you to install an add-on, but just to be sure that it's clear for everyone, even for beginners, let me show you the process. So let's go to Edit, Preferences, select the line Add-ons here, click on the small arrow you have on the top right of the window, and select Install from Disk. Go where you extract the archive you've got on the marketplace, so the one where you can find this video, basically. And keep the tools as a zip, okay? Don't extract the FoliageLab Cutter. Same things for the hub. Don't extract the FoliageLab hub. Keep them as a zip, okay? In my case, I will use the hub during this video. Like that, you will see how this one looks, but it's basically a hub, okay? So the name is enough to understand, but it will just reorganize the different tools. Instead of having one tab per tool, you will get only one tab with all the tools you've got, of course. Okay, it's not all the tools at once, it's just the one you have, okay? And with the help of the hub, you can choose different display mode, okay, if you want to see the PBR, albedo, normal map, and that kind of things. This is the only goal of the hub. I will use it. You will see how this one looks. You will be able to take your decision at this moment. But yeah, it's fully optional. Tools will work without the hub, okay? But anyway, let's select the FoliageLab Cutter, the zip then, and click on Install from Disk. You should get something like this. I don't do it because in my case it's already installed, okay? But you should see something like that. The only thing that you have to be sure about is the checkbox is enabled here, okay? The box here is checked, means the tool is enabled, the add-on is enabled, and checked means is disabled, okay? And once it's done, you can close the preference window, go to the 3D view and press N on your keyboard. By doing this, you will open the N panel on Blender, and here you have a tool named FoliageLab. And as you can see, the hub is on the top, the tool is at the bottom. So as you can see, the Foliage Hub is just a tool that brings all the tools together in one place. Each of them is represented by a button, and you can switch from one to the others by simply clicking on them. It's just a better way to work, in my opinion, okay? But again, it's fully optional. It's really up to you to install it or not. It's interesting when you have multiple FoliageLab tools, but yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the cutter now. The first thing you have to do is to select the texture, and you have two ways to do it. The first one is to click on the input texture, go to search in the folder where you stored your texture and select the texture from there. Or if you already have the texture in your Blender project, you can click on Blender image, click on image here and select in the list which actor you want to work with. Okay, in my case, and as you can see, my project is really fresh. So I will click on input texture. I will go where I stored my textures and I will take my base color. I use the base color because the tool can work in different scenarios, okay? You can use, by default, an opacity texture, okay? Which means one texture with your opacity in it. Or if you already worked with your vegetation and you use the tool just to make something a bit better than what you already have, you probably stored the alpha channel, the opacity map in the alpha channel of your base color. The tool is able to read it also, okay? To change the type of texture or to change the way of the tool needs to look at, you have to import your texture first, of course, and click on channel. And as you can see, mask means you use the opacity texture directly. Alpha means you will use the alpha channel of your base color texture. It's 99% of time the case for a base color texture for vegetation. Okay, you always have the opacity texture in the alpha channel. And if it's not the case, because you work with packed texture, by example, you combine subsurface, roughness, and opacity map in the same packed texture to win some performance, you have also the opportunity, to choose which channel you want to use. If you create an ORS texture and the opacity is in the red channel, you can simply select the red channel. Okay, in my case, I have stored my opacity map in the alpha of my base color, so I will simply click on alpha. It will take a few seconds to load because it needs to initialize everything. And once it's done, you can work with different resolution. I will stay at 2K because it's not really important for this video, but be sure to adapt it on your desired resolution, okay? And once it's done, we are ready to work on our first mesh. So of course you have the choice of the mode. We stay on the LOD mode, of course. So let's jump directly in the mesh part, and here click on the button add a mesh. Here you have to change the name of the actor if you want. You can keep it as O1 if you want. But for me it will be BB1 for big branch 1. Once the name is chosen, you have to choose the size, okay? So here is just to give you information about the size between your different actors. If you're like me, and you will see that in a few seconds, if you stored different growing stage of your branch in the same atlas, of course, the really small parts no needs to make the same size as the big one. And this value is here to make the difference, okay? You can set it as 2 meters, 5 meters, 10 meters if you want, even if it's not really needed. But the goal here is not to be accurate. It's here to say, okay, my big one is 1 meter. Even if on your tree at the end is not the case, at least you have a good value to start with, okay? So for me, the big branch will be at 1 meter. And once it's done for you, click on the small pen here to edit hull. Once you click on this one, you see a new window appears on the left of Blender, and it's where you will draw your meshes. Let me just make it a bit bigger and zoom on the actor that I want to cut, okay? So by default, you can of course navigate in this window freely. Of course, it's just a basic stuff, you know. But from the moment you will click somewhere, you will generate a vertex. Let me show you. I will click here at the bottom of my branch. From this moment, I've created one point, which is a vertex. Stuck and attached this vertex, I have a line, which is an edge, of course. And every time I will click, the tool will create a new vertex for me. Okay, so let me show you. Click here and there, and here, there, maybe here, and there. And to finish, because my mesh is fully complete now, you just have to go back on the first point, which is green, and click on this one to close your mesh. And basically, you've just done your first mesh. The next part is about making this a bit more, not subdivide, but a bigger, with a bigger density. Of course, you have the abilities to add or remove points. To add points, you have to keep pressing Alt on your keyboard and click on an edge, okay? This one will create an outer vertex. If you want to remove one, you just have to keep pressing Alt and this time doing a right click to remove it, okay? And you can do it on each edges. But if you do a right click in the center of your actor, you will create an inner point, which is an vertex. The goal here is just to increase the density of your mesh, okay? So the goal is just to draw different points here and there to increase the mesh resolution. So here is just to show you, okay, I will not keeping something in production or never using something in production. But at least now you can see that you have the abilities to add or remove points. I will also add more inner points. Like that, I will get a better bending. Okay. Now you have your mesh, but it's not finished. If you keep your mesh like this, it will work, but it missed something: the pivot point and the angle of your branch. To set the pivot point or origin of your mesh and his angle to determine on which axis this one should grow, it's really simple. Keep pressing Shift on your keyboard, click one time to generate a point, keep your click pressed and draw your mouse cursor to draw a line and just set the angle. Okay, so it's really simple. Me just doing it again, Shift, click, keep pressing the click, release when you decide that it's good. The length of the green line here is not really matter. Okay, it's not really important. We don't really care. Don't change the size of your mesh. You don't really change anything. It's just a segment between your pivot point and the handle for the angle. Okay. If you realize that this one is really complicated to see, you can click on the small white dot here to hide the background of the mesh. Okay. And like that, it can make the thing a bit easier to see. If you have any troubles to see it, if it's not clear enough, if you think the lines are too thick or too thin, or anything, don't hesitate to let me know and I will see what I can do for an update. And to go back on the pivot point and the angle, you don't have to kill the thing and redo the process. If you just want to move them, you can simply select the pivot point, and as you can see, I can freely move it. And for the angle is the same thing, okay? And you have the number at the bottom here, like that. You don't have to check every time your tool to see on which degree you are. It's directly displayed there. And once it's done, you are ready to save your first mesh. And to save your mesh is really simple. Let's click on the small arrow here on the LOD mesh to expand this menu and click on Save as LOD 0. By doing this, you stored your actor and you can get some good information about it, which is the vertices and the faces. Okay, we are on triangles here, so your mesh is 18 vertices for 25 triangles. Faces, same things, okay? And once it's done, you can simply remove some points and save your different actors as new LODs. Let's do this together and let's create at least 3 or 4 LODs together, and like that you will see the full LOD chain. Let's go. And for my LOD number 1, I just want to remove the inner point that I have here. So remember, keep pressing Alt and do a right click on each point you want to remove them. Once it's done for you and you decide that this new mesh is the good one for at least the LOD 1, just click on Save as LOD 1. Let's continue, and I will do the LOD number 2 in the same time. Okay, so I will just remove the extra outer vertices here, and also remove the one I have in the inner. Okay, just to keep something like this. Let me just hide it to show you the thing. So here is not to make some things really perfect. Okay, it's just to show you how the tool works, and I think it will be definitely enough. So once you've decided is good for you, save it as a new LOD. And to finish, I will probably remove this one and remove this one and just move things like that. And move this one like this and remove the one I have in the middle. And I have a mesh like this as the LOD number 3, sorry, not number 4, it's the number 3. Start with 0, is the number 4, but anyway, it starts from a 0, so it's number 3, but yeah, you understand the thing. And that's it, you have all your LOD chain. If you realize that someone is too much or not enough and you want to readjust them, you just have to click on the small button here between the save icon and the trash icon to reload your different LODs. Okay, and by doing this, you'll be able to reorganize a bit the thing. So by example, for me, this one would be probably better like that. Okay, so this one is the number 2, so I will just save it, and that's it. My LOD 1 has been updated, and now I have this mesh over time. Okay, and basically you can do it as much as you need and as far as you want. I don't think there is a limit, or at least I didn't made a real limit. So of course you will be limited in your engine or any other softwares you will work with. And I think for Unreal, by example, it's 8 LOD levels, and you can go higher than this. But yeah, just depending on where you will use your meshes, you will be probably limited by your tool, by your software than the tool. Okay, and once everything is okay for you, you just have to click on confirm a mesh. It will close the window and your mesh is fully stored. And for me, I will stay here. I will not cut all my actors, and I will show you how to build your actor, how you can add a cross mesh really quickly, and how to generate the other LODs. Let's go. The generation is split in 2 ways. The first one is to build the LOD 0 first, okay? All the better LOD of each actor you decide to cut. Like that, you will be able to see if each actor looks exactly as you want, if everything is okay, and rework them if you need. And once and only once you are sure about your LOD 0, you'll be able to generate the other LODs, okay? The goal of that is just to stay organized a bit, because it can become really messy, definitely messy. But for me, and because I have only one mesh, if I click on build LOD 0, I will get only one actor, as you can see. And it creates some collections here. So there's the cutter collection, the LOD sub collections with all the actors, okay? And of course, if you have multiple LODs, it will create BB2, BB3, SB1, SB2, and so on. As much as LOD 0 you have will be there, okay? And once you are sure that everything is okay, and once you are sure that everything is good for you, you can generate the other LODs. But before to do that, I want to show you some things really cool, which can help you to gain some times again. Sometimes you just need a cross on your mesh to make it work exactly as you want, and instead of doing it manually, the tool can do that for you. You just have to select the mesh on which you want to add the cross, and in the cross mesh at the bottom, just click on add cross meshes. And by doing this, you will be able to make a cross, a perfect aligned cross like this. So after that, it's really up to you to modify them as you want, but basically this is how things worked. And if you want to combine both together into one mesh only, just have to click on consolidate meshes. And now your actors are combined together. So I didn't set an auto weld for the vertices, because sometimes, and depending on the wind you want to use, and you have to use on your different engine, weld some vertices can create some problems. So I intentionally just joined actors and didn't weld the vertices. But if it's something that you need in your way, don't hesitate to let me know, and I will see what I can do about it. And I will do some Control Z just to remove the cross, and let's generate the other LODs to see how this looks. It's complicated for me. Let's go. Now that I'm sure about my LOD 0, let's generate the other LODs, and to do that, you just have to click on Build Other LODs. And by doing this, you have now all the LODs, number 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on until the last one. And as you can see, they spawn perfectly overlapped, and it's not exactly the best way to see the things. You have a button on the build category named Exploded View, and if you play with this value, you will be able to see your meshes on the z-axis like that, or if you change the mode, on grid. And like that, you have the LOD 0, 1, 2, 3, and you can quickly check if everything is good for you, or if you need to add some extra levels because between two LODs you have too much reduction. Okay, it's a good way to see the things. And basically that's it. So this is the manual LODs, but we have one last thing to see in this load mode here is the auto LOD generator. So let's delete all the LODs except the LOD 0 in my case at least, okay, just to show you, and just expand the LOD generator option and category we have at the bottom. And the goal of this one is to set a number of LOD you want to generate from the LOD 0, okay? So if you decide to create 3 LODs, you will get LOD 1, 2, and 3, okay? And a reduction percentage which will reduce the mesh, the previous mesh, by X%, okay? So in our case, and by default, we want 3 different LODs with, for each, 25% of reduction. Okay, so the LOD 1 will be generated from the LOD 0. The LOD 2 will take the LOD 1, the LOD 3 will take the LOD 2, and so on. Okay, so once you've decided about the number of LOD you want and the reduction you want, you can click on Generate LODs. And with the exploited view, you'll be able to see how things looks. And as you can see, it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. You probably have some manual readjustment to make on them, but at least it gives you something, okay? And it's, to me, a good way to speed up the process when you are in testing parts, okay? You've just created a new atlas, you are not sure about how this one looks on your tree, so basically you are supposed to do that before the atlas, but just in case you want to make some tests and all that stuff, generating some automatic LODs just to get something in the engine is definitely good to me. Okay, and of course you can change the things. Maybe you want 4 LODs and not only 3, and you want to each by reduced by 33%. And now if you click on generate LODs, everything will be done. So it creates 2 times the same one. Yeah, okay, it creates the LOD 4 there. Okay, so it's Y. It's better to generate the things without the exploited view. But anyway, as you can see, you have now the full workflow. So automatic are not, and definitely not, good for final things without manual adjustment, of course. You can use it and just readjust them to get exactly what you want. But at least you have something which can generate LODs for you and speed up your process in testing part before to make all the manual job on your side. Okay, it's something that can be really, really interesting if you need to, and if you don't need, you just have to keep this one cut up and never using it again, and it will be fine. Okay, so in my case, I would just remove the exploited view. I will take all the LODs there, remove them, and just regenerate the other LODs. And the job is done for the LOD mode. Now you have, and you know everything you had to know about this one. I will let you make the other meshes if you have multiple meshes on your atlas. And wish you good luck, because even if it's faster and good to make, it's a job nonetheless. So good luck to you, and see you in the next video if you are interested by the high poly workflow on how we can cut a texture to create meshes, or directly cut a mesh to convert an alpha based actor into a full opaque one. Until then, take care of you and see you in the next one.